everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I am here today with the first of 3 flip throughs of these journals that are centered around vintage textile and fiber art, so stitching, knitting, spinning, quilting, weaving, those kind of things. And I will have 3 of these journals. They are all with a handmade wool cover. This one is beautiful blues and purples, and it has some very sparkling Angelina fiber in there. And this one I have sort of crazy quilted across the top to give it like a bit of a grid. Then the silk I've tied it with here is beautiful. It is iridescent purple and it comes right off. It has these nice tassels here on the end. The kit that I've used in here is Vintage Crafty Ladies by Kelly's Crafts by Kelly on Etsy. So on the inside I've lined it with beautiful fabric, pockets on the inside on both sides. So there's yarn here on the top of this journal card. And then we have this woman sitting at her spinning wheel to sort of open the journal up. On this side, I've made a belly band from a vintage yarn sample card. And then there's this little journal card inside. A swarm of bees in May is worth a load of hay. A swarm of bees in June is worth a silver spoon. A swarm of bees in July is not worth a fly. And then some buttons here, and this is actually a little piece of wood. And then another beautiful page of just a vintage dress on lined paper, some stenciling, avocado dyed paper, and then this is another beautiful spinning wheel image, some sprayed paper, cabbage dyed paper. This is just a beautiful lined paper, some collaging on the back, and then a woman sitting and stitching, and some button stamps up here in the corner. And then this is just some beautiful coffee and purpley dyed page. And then this is a dress fitting, stenciling, another image of a beautiful vintage gown, more stenciling, vintage wallpaper. And then this pocket is made from a weaving sample from a Swedish weaving book, and the tag inside has a woman doing some stitching. And then this is just a little cluster made with some thread spools on a collage, and another dress fitting. And then we have a dress mold on some coffee dyed paper, some more stitching, just a beautiful page. You can see a bit of the outline of a crane, and it's stenciled, tea dyed on back. This is a vintage pattern page. They're actually, I believe, Brazilian. This is bobbin lace and more collage, and a corset image, more stenciling. This is a vintage stitching pattern, and then someone stitching on a frame, more stenciling, another frame for fitting clothing, and some stamping here. I was thinking about English paper piecing, another of the Brazilian crochet patterns. And then this is an image of a woman spinning on a spindle, and the pocket is also of women stitching. Then we have a belly band made from this pretty rose on the vintage pattern, and this is a sample card of different fabrics that I made. It says Stitchery and has a little stamp of some botanicals there, and it's on an index card. This is a woman knitting and looking at her pattern. And we have a little thread spool that's been threaded with some blue wool and some stitching on back, and this is a little tuck spot for this journal card. And then just some corsetry stamping. And the center of the journal is this quilting bee. And then we have a little plaid pocket here with this woman doing bobbin lace, and some more stenciling. On this side we have a tuck spot made with some vintage buttons and some beautiful photo. And then this is a journal card. And we have a tuck spot made from a vintage safety pin packet with the safety pin still in it. And then this guest check with some thread spools there, journal card. And more of those stamps. A little bit more stamping. And then we have like a mother and child doing some knitting. And then a little fabric and paper collage down here in a cluster with some stenciling. And this is another stitching image. And this is vintage pattern paper. Then we have a collage tuck spot here of this woman who's walking and knitting. Stenciling back here, and this is a tag made from the vintage Brazilian needlework pattern. And then this is Corticelli spool silk. And then this is a little tuck spot made from vintage wallpaper, and this is a collage, and this is the journal card. And a belly band with this really cute vintage image of these women, and a little bit of lace up top with that cute little yellow flower, and on back some of my dyed paper. And here we have a piece of stationery. It's just a large, beautiful piece of textile, and the pocket on this side matches. And inside we have a postcard of a woman stitching there, and her little baby sitting there with some wool, and another stitching image. And then a woman with a drop spindle and this big quill of wool. Looks like they're at a beach. And this is a sewing machine image. And some thread spools, some coffee dyed paper. Just a beautiful page. And then a collage page with another Swedish wool sample of weaving, and this postcard image inside with more stitching. And a little sticker here of thread spools, more vintage wallpaper and stenciling. And this woman is sewing. And another stitching image, pocket on vintage wallpaper that's textured. And inside we have a couple of things. So first is just this. It's from a vintage crafting book, and there's stenciling back there, and it's a journal card. And then I've included this large bird. You could write on the back, just like a big piece of stationery, but it's from Clara Waver. It's like a vintage, I guess, potentially, I don't know, it's a needlework pattern of some kind. I'm not exactly sure. Probably cross stitch, I would imagine. And then this is like a ledger page with a Singer sewing machine there, and this is a dyed paper that I dyed, and some button stickers, some thread spools, another one of these lovely little tuck spots made from a thread spool, and it has a collage behind it, and this woman at her spinning wheel, and a journal card with a little tab. And then these women are looking at a pattern together over their needlework, some blue dyed paper, a sprayed page with a thread spool and fabric collage. And then this woman is being fitted for a bodice, avocado dyed paper, a little sticker with buttons and some stenciling. This woman at her spinning wheel with this beautiful quill of wool, and a little stencil of some sewing scissors and some stitching. And this is a woman who is quill spindling from her quill, and this is a collaged tuck spot on another collage with this spindling image, little journal card. And the final page is a ledger, and it's got some ribbons and roses up here. This is the back pocket, And inside we have this piece of stationery. It's like a booklet with vintage wallpaper inside and avocado dyed paper, a little thing that says buttons. There is some vintage tatting here, and the images on front and back of this are these cute little vintage pink, blue, and white clothes. And I just thought the colors went really nice. And then also we have a piece of vintage ephemera. This is stationery of a Quebec yarn store, and they show all of their yarn samples here. And it's from 1971. And so that just tucks on in there. And we are at the end of this journal. So then you just take your ribbon and wrap it around a couple of times until we have a closure. And you can slip and slide it wherever you would like to put it, but it's very easy to handle. So that journal is complete. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a really lovely day. Bye for now.